set out to start my own business. No, I didn't set out to start my own business. I set out to not be an employee, which is a whole different conversation. But that rolled into the automation space and helping people set up like Zapier, connecting point A and point B and how that works together, and different tech stacks and stuff like that. And I had to learn how to sell that stuff. And that actually rolled into the marketing world and advertising world. And then that rolled into copywriting. And now I'm focused more on that stuff than I am on what I set out to do in the first place.
It's funny how it usually works like that, isn't it?
If you look back, and somebody posted about, one of the big copywriters I follow posted about this the other day, and he was like, look back at the last year and look at the path you followed and project that for next year.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. Like, there's no way that I could – 6 months ago, if you'd said, Robert, you're going to call yourself a copywriter, I said, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
But here I am, and I'm loving what I do now. So
it's amazing when those side projects become more fun than the main project.
Yep.
Thank God you're not fucking working in oil and gas, I will say, because I experienced many things like that. It's been 14 years since I've had a real job per se, but I can remember I had a co-op job when I was in college, and that's like basically like you work as part of going to your school. And I remember I had a full-time other job, and when I took the school job, I told them like, hey, I got this other full-time thing, which was a more serious prospect for me at the time. It was a Ford Motor Company, and I was a supervisor there. And I remember saying, I might not be able to always do 40 hours. And they said, no problem. And then what I found out is when I actually got hired, the guy who hired me wasn't there. So the guy I was reporting to had a very different opinion. And I remember, like you, I figured all these ways that I could cut my work down to 4 hours a week, and they could just measure me by my output. And they don't like that. They're like, no, we need you here 40 hours a week. And I'm like, but just so you know, I'm just going to sit around for 4 hours a day milking the clock. And they're like, well, we don't want anyone else getting the idea that they can leave early. It's really, we're not meant to be employees. Thank God.
Well, and that's, I'm not knocking employees. Like, everybody has to have a role in life. And if everybody was like us, then there wouldn't be people to sweep floors. And I don't mean that derogatory way. That's just a fact.
Yeah, so many names to sweep the floors. I feel you.
But at the same time, the difference between people like you and I, and probably most everybody watching this right now, and people that have jobs is we have a mindset of get it done. And the corporate mindset is sit here for 40 hours.
Yeah.
And, I hate to say
extra, then they'll want more from you.
Right. And that's what gets me. You punish your hard workers and your good people by giving them more work.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't add up to me. I will never understand. And I got away from the corporate world to go do whatever the hell it is that I think I wanted to do. And then I'm talking to a buddy of mine about starting a super agency. Like, we're talking about chasing some huge numbers. And I was like, the reality of it, though, is after 2 months of that, we're going to have corporate structure in place. Like, we're going to have weekly meetings. We're going to have, and it's not that we want to, but if you're doing that kind of revenue and those kind of personnel numbers, there's a point where you have to have a structure to it, or it's just going to fall apart on you.